You take con law from Senator Cotton?
Hugh, I'm like the lawyer in Hugh Good Man. I was sick the day they taught law at law school.
So, did you have Tribe?
I did not.
Did you have Dershowitz?
I did not.
Well, you see, those two...
They've been quite the advocates for their various positions over the last couple of weeks, I understand.
Yes, they have been. I just had on Akhil Amar from Yale, who said he's more Dershowitz than Tribe, but he very succinctly put out, you cannot prosecute a sitting president, you cannot indict a sitting president, and it's highly unlikely that a sitting president can even theoretically obstruct justice, which is the basic common sense ruling you get from reading the document. But a lot of lawyers and a lot of people who slept at a Holiday Inn don't seem to get that. May I also point out, Senator Cotton, that a lot of people on TV are saying that Donald Trump Jr. could not have attorney-client privilege with conversations with his father with two lawyers present. That's simply not true if there's a joint defense agreement. Now, I doubt you've ever practiced criminal law, but that's just the bottom line. It's theoretically possible he could.
Hugh, again, I'll say I was sick the day they taught law at law school, and leave it to you and Alan Dershowitz and Larry Tribe to debate.
What did you do for 3 years? Did you just play basketball with the former head of the Browns?
I played intramural basketball and won the title.
You won the title with the former head of the Browns, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, Senator Cotton, are we going to get a tax bill next week?
I believe so, Hugh. I know the members of the conference committee are working many hours every day. They worked over the weekend. We're simply trying to resolve a few important, but I would say minor differences in the grand scheme of things between the House and the Senate. Having gone through the House and the Senate, it's hard to see it failing to pass through the conference committee and then go on to the president. There's no real example of that in modern legislative times. Most bills that fail because they can't get through one chamber or the other. So I think by the end of next week, we're going to have a good tax bill that pulls the heart out of Obamacare by repealing the individual mandate, puts more money in working families' pockets, and helps boost long-term economic growth and get wages up for working Americans.
Senator Cotton, you are the person who proposed that, the elimination of the mandate. I want the record to show that was a Senator Cotton idea, and probably for a third-year senator, the most significant legislative achievement that I can remember. Is it play well in Arkansas and wherever you go to raise money for other senators?
Hugh, no doubt that the repeal of the individual mandate will be one of the most important things this bill does for working families. Just let me tell you, Hugh, the immediate impact it's going to have. Last year in Arkansas, about 65,000 families paid the fine because Obamacare made their insurance unaffordable. 53,000 of those families made below the median income in Arkansas. That means they were working class or poor people who were being fined because Obamacare made their insurance unaffordable. And remember, that means they're also going without health insurance. So they have all of the anxiety and all of the financial insecurity of lacking health insurance while the IRS also fines them for not having that insurance. So when the mandate is repealed and those 65,000 families, and it probably would grow absent this law, no longer have to pay that fine, they're going to know the people responsible for that are Republicans in Congress and President Trump.
And that is, to me, the essence of this. What will be the long-term impact of eliminating the individual mandate?
The most immediate and most important impact to you is those 65,000 families are not going to have to pay a fine to the IRS for lacking insurance. And also, I think it's important in the long term that we repudiate the idea that Congress can fine an American citizen for not buying the product of a private company. That was the first time it's ever happened in the history of this country, and once that kind of power grab is blessed, it's a tool laying around for any future Congress. We do not want Congress to have that kind of power over our lives. American people should have the choice to decide what they will spend their money on when it comes to things like their health insurance, and shouldn't be dictated to them by Congress. So I think it's important, even though the Supreme Court may have blessed this approach in 2012, that the Congress say now, we are not going to continue this practice.
And this is remarkable. I believe that it will hasten the demise, but it also means the necessity of coming up with a replacement. Is that going to happen in 2018, Senator Cotton? 1 minute.
So it certainly does, as I said earlier, pull the heart out of Obamacare. So we repealed the most important part of Obamacare, even though we couldn't repeal the whole law this year. But I do think it sets the table for returning to that law later next year in 2018. Because remember, Hugh, Obamacare, with or without the mandate, was not working. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. And the American people deserve a better, more affordable health care system than Obamacare has delivered for them.
Now, final question, Senator Cotton. In terms of the election campaign next year, is it just going to be, are you better off today than you were 2 years ago? Put aside everything else. Isn't that the basic appeal?
Well, that's the way most elections are decided, Hugh, and I think most Americans are going to realize that they are better off than they were 2 years ago.
I agree, and I think the whole deal comes down to passing this bill next week. Senator Tom Cotton, thank you, my friend. Stay tuned, America. I'll be back hour number 3.